Good afternoon, everybody, or should I say good evening, and welcome to tonight's topic, which is on the client's role in the management and treatment of anxiety conditions. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I'm the director and the head psychologist here at All Psyched Up, and I'm absolutely all psyched up to be able to talk to you guys tonight. So you might be wondering, what is the role of the client? And it's really very interesting because the client has a very important part to play in the management of this condition. So I guess the first thing that's really important to know is that the client needs to be, hello Sharon, how are you going? The client needs to be fully engaged in the process. And what that means is right from the very beginning, when the client goes and gets their initial referral from the GP, they need to be on board with psychology. And that means that the client actually needs to be wanting the service, not just agreeing to it because the doctor suggested it or, because somebody else thinks it will be a good idea for them. But they have to have a clear understanding of their motivations for wanting to come along for counselling. Because it's not for everybody, Some people want to take medication, some people want to do yoga, some people want to come and see a psychologist. It's completely up to you what you want to do. But whatever it is that you choose to do, you need to commit to it. Otherwise, you're not going to get the benefits. It's like going on a diet. If you don't stay on your diet for a decent period of time, you're not going to lose weight. If you don't go to the gym for a decent period of time, then you're not going to tone up and develop muscle and strength and things like that. It's the same with coming along for psychology. So that's the first thing, I guess, making sure that you're very clear about why you want to have the treatment. When you come along for your first appointment, your psychologist is going to sit down and have a chat with you about his or her role in your treatment. One of the things that they'll talk to you about is the importance of transparency and open communication. This is really important because if you don't have transparency in the relationship, then it's very difficult to build trust and it's very difficult to build rapport. And without trust and rapport, it's almost impossible to get traction happening with treatment. You have to have two-way communication. You have to be honest with your therapist. Your therapist has to be honest with you. Otherwise, it just ain't going to work. So the other thing too, apart from the onus on both parties to be fully transparent with each other in the process, is also the client has an obligation to communicate both wins and opportunities for further development or further exploration with the psychologist. So we don't only want to be, as psychologists, we don't only want to be hearing about all of the good things and all of the good progress. Speaking for myself, it's just as important to me to find out a little bit more about, what the obstacles are for you, what's still remaining. I need to know, is this treatment that I'm giving you working? Is it successful? Hey Tina, hey Sasha, how you going? Because if it's not, and you don't tell me, then I'm not going to know. And I will just keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that it's working. So we're not going to be offended if the strategies and the tools that we give you don't work. Be more difficult in the long run. It's only going to hinder your progress if you don't be honest with us and tell us what's going on. So lastly, it's really important that you do the work. Coming for psychology or coming for counselling isn't just about having a chat and then not coming back for a week or not coming back for 2 weeks and not doing anything in between. If you don't do anything in between, nothing's really going to change. Well, in saying that, it could for some people, but for most people, nothing's going to change. It's like going and having a talk with a dietitian about your diet, but not actually eating the foods that she's recommending or that he's recommending. So when you come and talk to a psychologist, we're going to sit down with you and we're going to look at a whole bunch of different, perhaps, approaches to the problem. Maybe if you've asked for tools, we'll give you some tools. If you've asked for strategies, of course we can provide those for you as well. But it's really important that you do the work. So the things that are suggested by a psychologist are suggested because he or she knows that they've been clinically validated to be effective treatments for the presenting problem that you're coming along with. So if it's anxiety, it might be things for you, and it's different for everyone, but it might be things for you like looking at mindfulness, it might be looking at your lifestyle, perhaps changing your sleep routine, perhaps looking at your work, looking at your family commitments, looking at your social obligations, seeing if there's anything that can be, adjusted in any of those fields. And we'll talk to you about those, but it's up to you at the end of the day to go make those changes. We'll guide you through it and we'll support you through it. But talking alone is rarely going to be enough to help you get through the anxiety. Okay, so doing the work is really key. So apart from that, there are other things that you might like to try in terms of boosting your well-being and boosting your happiness. One of the things that I was doing just before I did my video tonight was have a gratitude journal that I write in every night, and I write down 3 things that I'm happy about. The other thing that I have apart from my gratitude journal is I have this little book here. It's just called 365, and it is talking about one good thing that happened to you every single day. And I think it's nice to write down stuff like that, because what happens is it starts to bring into your awareness good things that are happening in your life. And I think when we've got anxiety, sometimes it can be so overwhelming for us that we end up being preoccupied or consumed by all our thoughts about the future, about what if this happens, what if this doesn't happen, this should happen, this shouldn't happen. And yeah, I think just give yourself a break for 5 minutes out of the day and give yourself a chance to sit back and reflect and have a look at some of the good things that are happening, because you know what, you'll find them. And sometimes you just have to trust in the process and take that leap of faith. And but at the end of the day, all the talking in the world probably isn't going to fix it. You have to actually do the work, and that's the motto for today. And if the work's not effective, let your psychologist know, or let your counsellor or your therapist know, so that he or she can give you different tools or different strategies. And we'll see if we can get some traction that way. In terms of wellness, we know that in Australia anyway, I think it's Beyond Blue and the ABS are actually reporting that 4 out of every 5 Australians will experience some kind of mental health condition in their lifetime. So in a way, it's, I guess, kind of the new normal. But in terms of the efficacy for treatments for different mental health conditions, we also know clinically that between 75 and 80% of the people who are diagnosed in Australia with anxiety get well when they have dual treatment. And dual treatment can be a combination of seeing your doctor and having medication, or seeing your doctor and seeing a psychologist. So, you don't always have to have medication if you want to try natural ways. There's absolutely interventions that may be of use to you. As I said, there's always going to be a percentage of the population that are perhaps a little bit treatment resistant to talking therapies, just like there'll be a percentage of clients in the population that are a little bit treatment resistant to medications. You just have to find the fit for you. And part of that process is making sure you have a doctor that you trust, that you're open with, that you're honest with, that doesn't judge you, that you feel entirely comfortable with, and having a psychologist on your side that's got all of those qualities and more as well. Okay, well, I'll let you go. It was so nice to see you today. Hey Rachel, how you going? Hi Cara, I'm just packing up now. I hope you guys have a really lovely night. Thank you very much for watching. I just tried it tonight because I had my business coach today at 11, so 10 to 11, and then I had a client at 11. So I wasn't able to catch up at my normal time. Plus, I just wanted to see what it was like with, people being available to participate sort of later in the day. But anyway, we might try 7 o'clock at night on Thursday and Tuesday as well, and see how we go from there. Hey Rachel, nice happy faces there, thank you. I can't wait for you to start your course. All right, my lovely, I will let you go. Have a really lovely afternoon. I'll talk to you a bit later. Bye.